So hello, I'm here with Moonshot. So first of all, my first question is, how are you? Everything is fine for you?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Everything is really well. Yeah.
yeah, it's
So,
really,
doing good. Doing good.
yeah, it's quite winterish here in Finland, Helsinki. So, but
Oh,
despite of that, everything is okay.
rainy in my
It's the
country.
average Helsinki winter.
Yeah, exactly.
Dark and moist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did the Moonshot adventure start?
Hmm.
Yeah.
You
So,
would you like to start?
well, uh, yeah, I'm just starting to count back years. I'm not sure if I remember was it 2018 or 19? Refresh my memory. I
It was
think it was
19.
19.
It was maybe 19. Yeah, yeah.
It was actually, yeah, it was 19. Yeah, but it was actually 18 that we actually, had the first,
Yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah, right. Yeah,
these
yeah,
like
yeah,
talks. But
yeah.
anyways, yeah, dating back to like fall 18, me and Ville had this. I decided to call Ville and ask him to be the vocalist of Moonshot. Of course, back then we didn't have the band name yet, but just to be the vocalist of my new band. And at that time, I was just finishing up with my previous band called Disco Ensemble, and the drummer Mikko from Disco Ensemble also was joining us for this new adventure with Moonshots. And actually, me and Ville started to work on some songs pretty much almost right away. And it was a bit later. It was 2019. I think it was in June that we decided to ask Henkka to join us. And we already had some music to play Henkka and so on. And Henkka got excited about this musical style of Moonshot. And of course, he knew us to some extent. He knew Disco Ensemble, and of course he knew, and he was actually a fan of Ville's previous band, Lapko, and so I suppose because of all these things combined, Henkka decided to join the band, and so Moonshot was born, like as the current lineup in summer 2019. So since then, the train has been moving on strong, and the second album is about to come out, and something like 100 shows under our belts already, and 3 times around Europe, and yeah, something like that. Please, Ville, continue.
I think that was pretty much what happened. It was like, yeah, it's like I was just riding a bicycle and I was in the middle of something, and then I I watched my phone and I saw that Jussi is calling, and we first we started the conversation. It took like a 1.5 hour, this first call, and then it was like I told Jussi, okay, let me think. I need some time, and then it took like 3 minutes, and I was okay. I'm in. And then it's like here we are. It's something like I would like to think that the best things in life, they happen without you're too much planning it beforehand. And it's like I'm not saying that they have happened by an accident, but still it's like you can't like design those that kind of big things, and that exactly what happened. It's like it was really, really happy, like miraculous thing for me, to get invited for this band.
Okay. So if you were to define and describe your music, what would it be?
That's a hard question.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
good one. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that we're having some kind of alternative indie rock elements, but still like a timeless rock songs with catchy songwriting and quite sharp attitude in a way. It's like how you feel? Jussi, is this something that you can?
Yeah, I can relate to that. Yeah, I was just, wondering, this question gets, I've been trying to answer this question quite a few times, and in a way, I've sort of given up trying to define whatever I'm doing or we are doing musically. Somehow it just, I feel that the categorization or the how to describe it, I would be really interested to hear what actually people outside this band think
Mm,
what we are about, and I would also like sort of everyone else to define it themselves and just go with that. But having said that, of course, I suppose I could look at this question through like what kind of bands have had the biggest impact in our music and in our lives in general. So I must say, the connection points would go for me something like, these are not in like any sort of particular order, but let's say Deftones, White Pony, let's say Refused, Shape of Punk to Come, and let's say Tool. I suppose quite a few albums. I think Ville is more deep into Tool, so he can maybe name drop some albums. And for me as well, let's say, at the driving relationships of command, also, what else?
maybe Rage Against the Machine and Fugazi
Yeah,
and
some, for me the first album of Rage Against the Machine was a big thing for me, and maybe let's say Helmet, the really early Helmet from like like early 90s. There are many others as well, but this is just like, let's say, this is my personal shortlist, and when you combine that, to whatever comes out from us, like creative wise, at any given time, so that's the combination. I suppose those was there 5 or 4 albums that I just said, so those are like somehow printed in my DNA, so to say. Nowadays, you can ask about this like in 10 years, and I would probably list those same albums. I'm old enough to admit that I'm not. I'm pretty convinced that there are not gonna be any other bands that are going to change my life in that extent as these bands and these albums have been, like influencing me. Yeah, but there are lots of things, but let's just, that would be something for me to say.
Okay. Your album Confession was released in 2021, during the COVID pandemic. Wasn't it too hard to promote during such hard times like that?
Yeah, it was super hard for us because we have planned to make a tour, but we have to actually cancel the whole tour. And then, you know, all of these promotional things and stuff like that, we have to like, you know, put our brains in a different position and, you know, not doing those things. And, you know, it's like, because you didn't know when this touring would be happening and possible again. And it's like, it's really hard, as it was for all musicians, you know, that you are staying in a rehearsal space or working room and you don't know when you can eventually come out. And as we were having like debut album, first album, we prepared something like 2 years then, and then you are so ready to leave all the horses out, and then you just, you know, find yourself in a position that, you know, in a situation in where you're like stuck somewhere. So, but luckily we had opportunity to open for Danko Jones, which was actually the first tour we did after, you know, pandemic. So it was really nice start for us after this whole dark period, and it kind of gave us this kind of really good, you know, fresh start after this whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and also even though we had to postpone the release dates of the singles and the album of the first album, and of course mainly because of the uncertainty in regards of being able to play live and actually promise to people that we are going to play a certain tour or a certain show, because shows were being cancelled all the time, so we couldn't make any promises. And all the promoters were like, it's almost impossible to book any shows at the moment, so it's pointless to, you know, put out the album and just not be able to tour. But the upside was that we actually started to work on the next album pretty quickly after the first one was done. So we were actually writing new songs already, even before the first album was out. So that was the upside. So we're kind of harvesting the fruits now, because, you know, even though this whole process of the second album was still really intense and long, but the upside is that we got the chance to start it early. So now it's finished and we are ready. So that is a good thing.
Yeah, and the Power is coming out the 26th of April. What was the writing process? You tell a little bit about the quick process of writing, but can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, it was quite intense and long. It took something like 2 years to, you know, if you count from like when we started to writing songs and you know, pre-production and writing more songs, and then we had 2 studio sessions where we mainly focused on the drums and some of the basses as well, but mainly drums and all the like the production side of the song structures and so on. We had those 2 sessions, and after that it was quite a long time. You know, after that we started to work on the guitars and we had separate vocal sessions and lots of post productions, and we started to mix as well at pretty early stage, but still the recordings were still ongoing. So we might be starting to mix like 2 songs, and at the same time I was recording some more guitars, and then we started to mix on some songs, and then we took a step back and remade something, and it was, you know, like a combination of all these like parallel elements and lots of iteration with the songs, and it in the end it took quite a long time. From like, if you think about when we had the second big studio session, when like finishing up the drums and so on. So it was like something like 9 months after that, I think we had the master ready. So that was like lots and lots of work. Of course, we didn't work like all the time. It was like in these bursts, but still tons of hours put in even after that. And yeah, and we had a separate producer for the vocals as well. This really known producer from Canada called David Potrill, and Ville worked with him. So yeah, so maybe Ville has some thoughts on David and his inputs.
Yeah. I was just thinking about this workflow we had when we were writing this second album, because basically it was same how we did it when we were writing the first album, but we somehow, the whole workflow got so much better and so much more intense when we did it like, second time. And it was like really, I think that we really learned how to get best out of, ourselves as a songwriter companies with Jussi. So it's like we kind of developed this kind of skill and how to get the most out of the, this power plant called Moonshot. And it's like it somehow, made me really happy to see that, okay, we are really making some kind of progress when we are doing these things again and again and again. And wrote something like, am I right if I say, you see, that we wrote something like 50 songs for the second album? Then, that we picked something like 20, 25 that we decided, okay, then we will like really finalize. And then, 11 now found their way to the album. So it's like the process was really, really intense and heavy.
Yeah, there was lots and lots of like song parts and ideas flying around, and usually the process went like I made like a piece of music. Usually it was consisting of like a verse and a chorus, a combination, and I would send that to Ville. The demo would have like drums, bass, guitars, and whatever extras, maybe some, if it makes sense, have some pianos and synths and whatever. But the core elements was there, and the sound quality and the production value was quite high at that stage already. I'm kind of used to doing those demos quite quickly. So we had the idea how it would sound at the early stage. So even the first demo kind of gives a pretty good understanding of how that song is going to sound, once it's really finished. And but then the instrumental demo goes to Ville, and Ville does his magic on that, on the lyrics and top lines and stuff like that, all these ideas, and then he bounces it back to me, and then again I start working on those things. And usually at this stage, when I get the stuff from Ville back, then we could say that the song is born in a way, because usually when I send the instrumental demo, there are some good ideas in it, but since it doesn't have any vocals, you can't really say that this is something that you can relate to, and this is something that you can say for certainty that this is going to work or not. But after the first round with Ville's vocals, we are pretty like in the clear of if it's going to work or not. Of course, there's lots of work to be done after that as well, to be able to like put all the good things like in front and clean out the less good things and so on. But the substance is there, and you can hear it. So that's I think that is like the focal point of how the song is born.
Yeah. And talking about David Potrill, it's when we're singing with him, of course it's really exciting to work with this multiple awarded Grammy awarded like producer legend but still it's like when you start to work, you know, luckily it used to happen that you don't think too much, you know, with who you are working, because you are concentrating, you know, so much for the songs and what you are doing, you know, at the moment. So it pretty much happened, you know, the way that I stayed in a studio and I was singing there. It was actually the same studio that we recorded drums and stuff, and David was located in his studio in Toronto, and we did it like in remotely. So basically we had this kind of, you know, lossless signal, you know, we were sending from Helsinki or Sipoo to Toronto, and then we were having this kind of video in where we can see each other's reactions, and, you know, basically there's no any difference, you know, for this kind of normal situation in where, you know, producer would be like in the next room and stuff. So, you know, it was really easygoing process, and actually we did the same thing when we recorded the first Moonshot album as well. So this was like second time. So David knew as well that what kind of band we are and what kind of things and ideas and what is our, you know, strong points and what is Mr. Malia's weak points and, you know, that kind of things, you know.
And what is it about? Is it a concept album? There is a common theme and storyline for this album.
Yeah, this is not a theme album, but still it's like all of the songs, they are having some kind of connection thematically for this the power title. And I think that, you know, no matter what kind of living organism you think, we all kind of absorb this kind of power, you know, from us, and we're taking some kind of power inside of us. And that's something that all of those songs have something to do with. They're like strong moments, or strong like something when something like strong thing is happening, and it's their song about that kind of moments.
Okay. And sorry for my pronunciation, first of all, but Sami, you went to direct your video clip called Black and Spiral. How did the collaboration go?
Yeah, so with our collaboration with Sami has been quite long and fruitful. We go way back with Sami. Sami used to direct some of my previous band's videos as well, sort of like the band Disco Ensemble. He did some of the videos for us back in the day, and so we always knew that Sami is a really talented and versatile director. So we just thought that, what the hell, let's ask Sami, let's send him some songs and see what he thinks. And this was like before the first album was out. This was like, you know, we were just planning this whole thing. We had the songs, nothing was done, you know, yet. And we sent some to Sami, and he got really excited. And since then, you know, he has done every music video we have, you know, Moonshot has put out. So he's like the driving force of the music video side of Moonshot, and he directed the Black and Spiral video as well. That was a great day, great filming day, lots of, you know, really interesting and fun details when we filmed that, and it's always a pleasure to be able to have these filming days with Sami. They're always great, and hopefully we can keep on working with him until the end of days.
Yeah, actually, we have, we've been in contact, the band and Sami actually last time today. So it's like it's really active dialogue with him. And what is the really beautiful thing with Sami and his crew is that always when it comes to music videos and this kind of so important things when it comes to visual and that kind of things, it's really difficult and almost scary to see something like first time when you have filmed a video and then you see the first edit, because you never know what's waiting there. But with Sami, it's always, you don't have to be scared, at least that much, that it's like you can really trust that he knows what we like, and we really trust that he's having this kind of taste and kind of like he really understands that what we want and what's something that we're looking after. And it's like it's really important to have that kind of persons around the band who are willing to help and who have capabilities to and substance that we are really needing.
Mm. So, this song is about facing and accepting fate and death. Isn't writing about such topics complex?
I think that when it comes to Moonshot and this kind of core ideas and themes that we are writing about and why we are doing these songs and why we are having this band, it's like one of the main thing is to be honest and sincere. And it's like whatever happens after that, it's it just happens, and you just have to accept that. And when it comes to this particular song, it was something that something happened during the songwriting process, and we were doing this song with Jussi, and I sent him this first demo, and I just warned Jussi that okay, this is quite heavy package thematically and lyrically, but this is something that I have been thinking and what has happened for me recently, and I have no choice than to put it there. And then we had this discussion with Jussi that okay, this is what it is, and here we are now. It's like it's just something that happened. In a way, it's like a diary page that we shared, Jussi and me, and then it's like noisy diary page.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just wondering, I must add that, if you think about the lyrics of Black and Spiral, I remember that once I got the first demo from Ville and asked him about the lyrics, I didn't understand how to interpret the message, and I wasn't sure what it meant. But once Ville told me that how to look at the thing that the person is singing to, what is the thing that the singer is calling you. Once you know that, then you realize what's going on. But if you don't catch that, then you will have some you might be struggling to find the sort of the red line, but trust me, it is there and it's very strong.
Have you planned to make a little tour in France for the next album? Have you already have few dates, few gigs in France or Belgium?
Not sure if we haven't
Not
locked. Yeah, not yet, but there will be. Ask
hope.
ask from us, and there will be, you know, it's really, you know, it's one of the main priorities to get this kind of.
We are working on it at the moment. You know, there's like nothing like confirmed, but there's like this offer around, you know, playing quite a few shows, but it's at the moment it's mainly focused on Germany, but we are also working on France, and we are really hoping that we could be hearing some, you know, positive signals from France as well, that people would love to see us more. So, you know, if we just would get a bit more of that, then it's going to be easier for us to lock some decent shows there.
Yeah, exactly.
What is your opinion on the alternative rock scene in Finland?
I think that, you know, it's like there's so many things happening in Finland and in Helsinki particular, but it's like you know, the saying that, you know, eyes can't see itself. You know, it's like, because we are staying here, we don't realize how much is happening, you know, around in Helsinki and here in Finland. But it's like rock music in general, it's, you know, there's lots of bands and lots of new things happening around here. And it's like, I think the competition as well is quite hard, you know, that you really have to be the top quality if you want to make it here. So
I agree, and I think the rock scene it's now better than a few years back. It's been getting better. There was some sort of like rock and roll recession in Finland, so to say, which was like, in my opinion, it had something to do with the hugely popular era of you know, dance music and EDM and all those sub genres that come out of that, and because of that, all the young, you know, all the kids wanted to be producers of electronic music, and so we sort of lost these people to that style of music, instead of like back in the day, most of these kids would have formed rock and roll bands. That's my opinion, you know. And now there's like, you know, it's kind of looks like it's easy to be a electronic music producer, and people are, you know, they think that you can do that from your living room, and it's going to be like awesome, and you will get lots of DJ gigs and so on and so forth. But the reality, I suppose, it's quite a lot different. But anyways, you know, nowadays, you know, people are getting more interested in like rock bands and like groups playing with real instruments and so on. And because of that, or you know, the kids are starting to form bands, and so let's say that the things are getting better, like after a short recession, and the future looks bright for like Finland rock scene.
My last question will be, can you tell me your last words? I know that you will play in some festivals like Summer Breeze. Can you tell me few gigs or whatever you want for the last words of this interview?
yeah, we're working, you know, to find you know, or our, you know, agents and, you know, our management, they're working hard to get more festivals. Of course, we have got few already, but it's like they're constantly working, you know, those, and we're just waiting to, you know, can't wait to be able to rock in France and Germany and everywhere in Europe. You know, it's like, you know, this is something we've been waiting for a long time, so can't wait. You know?
Yeah, and also I must say thank you for everyone who has been listening this show this far. Thank you for that. And just reminding that the new album will be out April 26th. And hopefully you will check it out and like it, and let us know through our social channels what do you think. And once the album is out, you know, we are doing our best to play as many shows as it makes sense and as it is possible. And when it comes to France, we would be more than happy to come there and play lots of shows. France is a lovely country and big country and lots of cities to play in. So hopefully we can get, you know, enough fans that it makes sense to come there and play many shows. So looking forward to that.
Thank you.